The stars were quiet. Space was calm. Everything was in order across the Zarkthul Empire's outer border. That peace didn't last long. A loud explosion shook the defense grid of Zilkara Prime, the homeworld of the insectoid race known as the Zarkthul. A small, strange-looking ship came crashing through the shield wall like a bird that didn't see the glass. It was human. In the capital city of Kaztar, alarms rang. Zarkthul soldiers scrambled. Queen Virelix, ruler of the Empire, looked down at the burning wreck on her monitor with a face full of rage. Her large black eyes narrowed. Her mandibles clicked in anger. "Is this an invasion?" she hissed. "No, Your Majesty," said her assistant. "It was accidental. The ship says it's an explorer vessel. The pilot wants to talk to you directly." Virelix stood tall on her many legs. "How dare a primitive flesh creature demand audience with me after damaging our defense grid?" But curiosity made her pause. She tapped her claw on the stone floor. "Bring him." Captain Adrian Knox was many things: explorer, dreamer, and annoyingly cheerful even in disaster. He stepped into the massive throne room wearing a bright orange suit and a crooked smile. He didn't flinch when he saw the towering alien queen in front of him. "Hello there," he said, waving. Queen Virelix narrowed her eyes. "You are the cause of the explosion." "Well, I prefer to think of it as an unplanned landing," Adrian replied. "Totally my bad. But hey, nice place you've got here. Very spiky." Silence filled the room. "You broke our laws. You entered restricted space. And now you mock our architecture?" the queen snapped. "No. Not mocking. Admiring," Adrian said, walking closer. "You know, humans have been looking for alien life for centuries. And here you are. Glorious, terrifying, and totally fascinating." "Stop talking," Virelix growled. Adrian grinned. "Can't help it. It's a human thing." The queen clicked her mandibles again. "You have 30 seconds to leave my planet before I vaporize your skeleton." "Fair, fair." Adrian nodded, but then pulled something from his pocket. "I brought a gift. It's coffee. Earth's most sacred drink. Want a taste?" A tiny steaming cup was placed on the floor by a trembling assistant. The queen stared at it like it might explode. "This is how you make peace?" she asked. "This is how we start conversations," Adrian replied. Virelix didn't drink it, but she didn't vaporize him either. Instead, she allowed him to be escorted to his ship with a final command. "Never return, human." Adrian saluted her. "See you soon." The door slammed shut behind him. Back aboard the Dauntless Resolve, Adrian's crew looked worried. "Are we still alive?" his science officer asked. "Barely," Adrian said, laughing. "But it's a start. You made the Zarkthul Queen angry." "She wasn't that angry. More like frustrated." "That's progress." The crew shook their heads. Adrian went to his cabin and started recording a message. "To Queen Virelix of the Zarkthul Empire," he said. "I know I caused trouble today, but I meant no harm. Earth doesn't want war. We just want to know you, your people, your stories, your music, your way of life." He smiled into the camera. "Also, did you know your palace is shaped exactly like a beetle from Earth mythology? We call it the scarab. Pretty cool coincidence." He pressed send. The next day, Queen Virelix received the message. She watched it in silence. Her eyes didn't blink. "Why is he still talking?" she muttered. "He appears to have recorded the message from orbit," her assistant said nervously. "He hasn't left yet." "Foolish human," Virelix growled. But she didn't delete the message. That night, unable to sleep, she played it again. She hated his smile. She hated his voice. But part of her was curious. She played the message one more time. In space, Adrian stared out at the alien planet below. "She's going to respond," he told his science officer. "You really think so?" "I know so," Adrian said. "Because I saw something in her eyes. She's not just angry, she's curious, same as us." "You're risking a war. Or making a friend," Adrian replied. On Zilkara Prime, Queen Virelix sat alone in her chamber. The human's words echoed in her mind. "Earth doesn't want war, we just want to know you." She shook her head. No, she whispered. I do not care what humans want. Still, her claw hovered over the reply button. Queen Virelix did not want to admit it, but she had watched the human's message 3 times. Each time, the human's strange voice and smiling face made her feel confused and irritated. He spoke so casually, as if talking to a friend. No fear, no respect, just curiosity. This Captain Adrian Knox, she muttered, is either a fool or something worse. What is worse than a fool? Her assistant asked. A human who doesn't go away. In space, aboard the Dauntless Resolve, Adrian leaned back in his chair with his boots on the table. She hasn't replied, said the science officer. Not yet, Adrian replied, sipping tea. But I think she saw the message, and I'm not giving up. He turned to his console and recorded another message. Dear Queen Virelix, today's topic, Zarkthul music. I noticed your warriors chant in battle. Is that a form of tradition, or maybe a rhythm for combat? Either way, it's awesome. By the way, I've attached a sample of human music. It's called jazz. No rules, just feeling. Kinda like diplomacy, right? Hope you're well. P.S. Coffee still stands. First taste is free. He sent the message with a wink. Queen Virelix received the file and threw it across the room. This human is sending me songs now? It appears so. Your Majesty, her assistant said. He is trying to make me feel things. Virelix hissed and stormed out of the room. But later that night, when no one was watching, she opened the file. The music was strange, random, messy. It made no sense to her. And yet, her claw tapped the desk in time with the beat. Back on Earth, the United Human Colonies saw Adrian's first message. It went viral. Soon, humans all over the world were watching Adrian talk to the alien queen like she was an old friend. The government didn't stop him. In fact, they encouraged it. If she hasn't shot him yet, the ambassador said he might be onto something. The Cultural Curiosity Campaign was born. Within days, the Zarkthul Empire began receiving thousands of messages, videos of humans dancing, clips of children painting alien queens in kindergarten, scientists asking respectful questions, teenagers singing alien names in rap battles. One message simply said, "You are cool, Queen V." Queen Virelix's data network nearly melted from the flood. "This is an attack," she shouted. "No, Your Majesty," her technician replied. "This is curiosity." She tried to block them. Humans found new ways to send messages. She turned off the royal inbox. Humans printed messages on space beacons and floated them outside her palace orbit. One large display showed Adrian's smiling face every 5 minutes. A message underneath said, "Still not leaving. Still friendly." Queen Virelix was furious. She stormed into her war chamber. "This is unacceptable. This is a siege of kindness." The generals agreed. One slammed his claw on the table. "We should declare war. Burn their planet, crush their spirits." But the queen raised one claw to silence him. "No, not yet. I want to understand why this one human keeps talking to me. I will speak to him. One last time." On board the Dauntless Resolve, Adrian's screen lit up. Incoming transmission, Zarkthul Royal Palace. The crew held their breath. Queen Virelix appeared on the screen, towering, regal, and very, very annoyed. "You again," she growled. "Me." "Again," Adrian said, smiling wide. "Welcome to the conversation. You are the most irritating creature I've ever encountered." "That's fair," he nodded. "Why do you keep bothering me?" She snapped. "What do you want?" Adrian sat up straighter. "I want to know you. I want peace. I want our people to talk, trade, maybe laugh a little. We're new to the galaxy, Your Majesty, but we want to understand it, starting with you." Queen Virelix stared at him. "You crashed into my defenses. You broke every rule of contact, and now you send me jazz music." Adrian shrugged. "Not my best first impression, but I'm trying." There was silence. Then, to everyone's shock, the queen replied, "The chants of our warriors are called Tharka. They tell stories of ancient victories. They are not music. They are memory. Adrian smiled. That's beautiful. Thank you. She scowled. This is not friendship, this is an interrogation. One question only, then you leave. Adrian thought for a second. What do Zarkthul children dream of? She blinked. No one has ever asked that. First time for everything, Adrian said. She didn't answer. The screen went black. Adrian leaned back, stunned. She didn't answer, said the science officer. But she didn't end the conversation either. Adrian said, she's thinking. That night, Queen Virelix stood on her palace balcony, looking up at the stars. The human was foolish, loud, annoying, but he was different. He listened. He asked real questions. He treated her not like a monster, but like a person, and that it made her angrier than anything else. The Zarkthul Empire had never lost a war game. These training battles were serious business, live fire, real pain, and real honor. For centuries, they had crushed every challenger. The galaxy feared their strength. But then, the humans asked to join. Queen Virelix laughed when she first heard the request. They want to compete in our war games? She asked her council. Are they joking? They say it's to learn, her general replied, to show respect for our culture. The Queen's smile faded. They're trying to impress us. Fine, let them come, let them be crushed. Captain Adrian Knox was more than excited. First friendly battle between species, he said, clapping his hands. Think of the possibilities. His crew didn't share his excitement. They're 10 feet tall and have claws that can slice steel, his lieutenant said. This isn't a game to them. That's why we'll play smarter, not harder, Adrian replied. Besides, we brought our secret weapon. What secret weapon? Adrian smiled. A very human tactic. Nonsense. The arena was a massive, rocky battlefield on the moon Zilkor. Millions of Zarkthul citizens watched from floating screens. This was a major event. The clash of cultures, they called it. On one side, the Zarkthul elite warriors stood in formation, armored, ready, proud. On the other side, the human were dancing, literally. Adrian's team stood in strange poses. Some wore face paint. One was holding a speaker playing loud human music. Queen Virelix watched from the royal balcony. What? Is this madness? She asked. Her assistant shrugged. They call it a hype ritual. The countdown began. 2, 1. Begin, the Zarkthul charged. The humans scattered in all directions. Zarkthul commanders growled, expecting an easy win. But then the humans started tricking them. One human ran into a cave, and when the Zarkthul followed, they found it filled with fog and flashing lights. Confused, they slipped on banana peels left on the ground. Another group found their communication systems jammed by human music. Then, a Zarkthul scout was ambushed by a human dressed as a tree. The warrior froze in confusion and got tagged. With paint. It wasn't war, it was chaos, and the crowd loved it. Adrian ran through the field, laughing. Come on, he shouted to his team. This is fun. Behind him, 2 Zarkthul warriors slipped on spilled sauce where someone had thrown tacos at them. Why are they throwing food? One warrior yelled. It's a distraction tactic, the other replied, wiping salsa off his face. Queen Virelix sat in stunned silence. What are they doing? They are winning, said her general in disbelief. Without hurting anyone. They are embarrassing us, she growled. The scoreboard showed it clearly. The humans were scoring more hits, more captures, and more points. At the end of the match, Adrian and his team stood on the victory platform covered in paint and glitter. The human anthem played, upbeat and silly. Adrian held up a peace sign and grinned at the crowd. Queen Virelix appeared on the giant screen. Above him, her face was pure rage. She yelled so loud the stadium shook. Why don't you leave me alone, human? The crowd gasped. Adrian, still smiling, looked up and replied, Because you're amazing, and I think we'd make a great team. Silence followed. Then, laughter. Not just from humans, from Zarkthul spectators too. One young warrior said, He is crazy. Another replied, Yes, but he is also brave. After the event, Queen Virelix stormed back to her chambers. I will not be made into a joke, she shouted. They did not mock you, her assistant said carefully. They respected the rules. They simply played in their way. Verelix's claws twitched. Their way is foolish. But they won. She paused, then sat down slowly. They did not fire a single real weapon, she whispered. Not one. Later that night, a new message came. It was from Adrian, of course. Thank you for letting us join your war games. I learned a lot. Mostly that your people are strong and serious. But I hope we showed you something too. That war can be clever and peace can be loud. If you're still mad, I understand, but I'm not giving up. See you tomorrow? Queen Verelix stared at the message. She wanted to destroy it, but she didn't. Instead, she replayed a short part. Peace can be loud. She didn't understand it. Not yet. But she was curious, and that was the problem. The day was supposed to be quiet. Queen Verelix had ordered no messages, no human transmissions, and no reports from orbit. She needed peace. She needed silence. She needed... Ping incoming message. Captain Adrian Knox. Her eye twitched. Told them I wanted silence, she shouted. Her assistant peeked from behind a pillar. It's marked urgent and private. Delete it. But it says goodbye. Verelix paused. Her claw hovered over the delete button. She waited, then sighed. Play it. The message appeared in her private chamber. No music, no jokes, no coffee cups. Adrian stood in front of a plain gray wall. His usual smile was gone. His voice was calm, almost tired. Your Majesty, if you're watching this, I guess this is my last message. I've been here for weeks, maybe months. I've sent gifts, stories, music, and even fought in your war games without firing a shot. Not because I want attention, but because I believe in something. I believe peace is worth the effort. Even if it makes me look like a fool, he looked down, then back at the camera. But maybe I've been wrong. Maybe we're just too different. Maybe humans don't belong here. You told me to leave you alone, and maybe I finally should. So, I'm going. He saluted. No hard feelings. You're a strong, proud, amazing queen. Maybe one day we'll meet again, but for now I wish you peace. The screen went black. Queen Verelix stared at the silence. She felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Regret. That same day, the dauntless resolve turned toward deep space. The crew was silent as they prepared to leave Zarkthal territory. No reply from the queen, asked the science officer. Adrian shook his head. Guess she's done with us. We really leaving? Adrian looked out the window one last time at the alien stars. Yeah, we've done all we could. Meanwhile, on Zilkara Prime, Queen Verelix called a private council meeting. No generals, no advisors, just her and her thoughts. For once, she didn't shout. Instead, she asked a question. What if I was wrong? Her assistant looked up in shock. Wrong, Your Majesty? I thought the human was a threat, a nuisance, a joke, but he never tried to hurt us. Not once. Maybe he was, just honest. She stood and looked out at the stars. And maybe I don't hate him. Across the Empire, young Zarkthul citizens were already copying human ideas. Some started painting. Some began learning Earth languages. Others recorded their own messages back, short and simple ones. Hi humans, we like your dancing. Your music is strange but fun. Why is pizza shaped like a triangle? The connection had started, and Queen Verelix couldn't stop it, even if she wanted to. So instead, she made a choice, aboard the dauntless resolve just as the engines powered up. Ping. Incoming transmission. Zarkthul, Royal Palace. Adrian froze. It's her. He opened the message. Queen Verelix appeared on screen, wearing her full royal armor, but her face was calm. Adrian Knox, you are annoying, loud, and completely without fear. But you are also the most persistent creature I've ever met. You brought a message of peace not once but 100 times, and I refused to hear it. Until now. Adrian held his breath. You asked me what our children dream of. I ignored it. But I will answer now. She raised one claw. They dream of flying without ships, of touching stars, of meeting others, without war. Just like your people. Adrian's eyes widened. You may return to our space, with limits, controlled visits, shared learning. But more importantly, she took a deep breath. I accept your offer. Adrian blinked. Offer? Coffee. I'll try your earth drink. His mouth dropped open. Then he laughed and laughed. Back on Zilkara Prime, days later, a small human shuttle landed peacefully. For the first time ever, humans stepped onto the Royal Palace platform not as intruders, but as guests. Queen Virelix waited on her throne. Adrian walked forward, holding a silver thermos. He poured the drink into a cup and handed it over with both hands. The queen took it carefully. She sniffed it. She sipped, then made a face. It's bitter. Adrian grinned. Told you. It grows on you. The queen looked at him, her eyes softer than ever before. I still do not like you, human. He nodded. That's okay. She paused. But I don't want you to leave. Adrian smiled. Good, because I wasn't planning to. Epilogue years later, statues of Queen Virelix and Captain Adrian stood together on the Zarkthul Human Unity Station. It became the biggest space school for alien diplomacy in the galaxy. The inscription on the wall read, Peace is not given. Peace is insisted upon. Again, and again, and again. Captain Adrian knocked sand right below it, scratched into the wall by someone unknown. Why don't you leave me alone, human? The alien queen with a smiley face drawn next to it.